folks. Apologise, I've already set up, unfortunately. I got down here, the rain started, I thought let's get some rods in the water. So high tide, it's around 6 o'clock tonight. It's a very big tide, so I'm reluctant to what we'll get. But for those of you who watched the interview I've done with Nick, the specimen of the series, this is a follow-up. So you might not catch some fish this session, but it's general talks and answering some questions and bits and pieces like that, really. Now, when I've done that interview, I had my sensible head on. My sensible head is very much gone. So I'm back at it, unfortunately. Well, good for you. The amount of emails and messages and inboxes and on all social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and TikTok is just phenomenal, and it's something which I think obviously you guys enjoy watching. I have to apologise for the rain hitting the screen and stuff, guys. I will try and wipe it off here and there, but unfortunately you can see the efforts we go to. Now I've come out on my own today. Gav's gone over to Tenerife, and I'm down on my own, and unfortunately if I get anything big on, it's going to be quite hard to land at the minute because there's a drop on the rocks where I'm fishing. But I was sat at home watching the TV, and you know, I thought, you're not going to catch a fish sat here, and never a true word spoken. But at the same time, I've got to try and manage it. You know what I mean? For me, it's an addiction. It really is. I mean, this is what I love doing, braid fishing. Where I am at the moment, I'll tell you exactly where I am. I'm on the mouth of the River Yelm, and over the years, this is my old roots, basically, my old haunts. Well, I used to grow up fishing and spending a lot of time, especially in my 20s and 30s, start fishing and targeting small live ray. I mean, it was a species of ray I loved, and for those who know how to fish it, it can give a lot of rewards. Now, I know guys that come down here in blank. I know guys that you'll get rays throughout here, but there is definitely certain areas, I would say, which hold the fish, and certainly different methods of catching the fish. You know, I mean, different baits, different rigs to work on different tides, and certain areas which hold the fish. So you only find that out by hard work. So I'm not going to go into the depths of details of where and what I'm doing. Obviously it's a knowledge game at the end of the day, but the water clarity isn't perfect. It's cleared up overnight, and to be honest, I should have brought some rag down and come down a day and gone for a place, to be fair, because the water's that clear. But we've got night time approaching. We had a lot of weed when we fished yesterday, and I had one fish out just under the 10 pound mark, and I'm hoping maybe just get a fish on camera for this episode, really, guys. So we're going to get into this session, and here we go. So this is the mouth of the River Yelm. The venue I'm on at the moment is known as Seasons Point. It's not secret. I mean, it's a well-known mark around Plymouth, and at certain times of the year you can get some big rewards off this mark. I know my PB small live ray comes from a mark not very far away from here, and throughout the year it does hold some spectacular ray fishing. What happens is, to the left hand side of me, so you've got Sellers Beach over the other side, and right about where the camera is off the edge of rock like now, going all the way across there, you won't see it, there's a red buoy, okay? Right the way across there's a big sandbar. So where I'm fishing now, I would say roughly you're probably fishing in 2 meters of water, 2.5 meters of water, probably a bit more than that of high tide today, but it's not deep at all, guys, okay? But on the bank, it shallows right up. I would think you could possibly, I don't know whether it's because it's a very big tide, but at low water especially, you could walk right out there and back. And on the other side of that, then it goes right into the mouth of the estuary, which holds a lot of different species. You can target giltweb green, you can target bass, you can target congers, you can target thornback ray. I mean, going up for the estuary there, you've got mullet, flounder, you name it, it's going to hold it. But out on the mouth of this estuary here seems to hold a lot of small live ray on different times of the year, okay? Not all the times of the year, different times of the year. And yeah, it's one of the places I've spent a lot of time in fishing different areas at different states of the tide. And to be honest, it's one of those areas I seem to, every time I come down here, I normally seem to do really, really good. But it's an hour's game, exactly the same as anything else, but what a view. I mean, the Mewstone out there in front of you, you've got Wembury Bay going across to the right hand side of you, and you've got the Warren going out to the left. That is a spectacular area to fish.
I think it holds the ling record, got its record forecourt ling, and yeah, for those that put time and effort in it, definitely get rewards.
Alright folks, so it's like I said, drags are set. I'm fishing launch baits today. There's some launch in the freezer. I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it. So I've brought it down today. I don't really want to waste my sand eel. I've got sand eel there, but I keep it in a flask because, especially at this time of year now, trying to get all the sand eel is a nightmare. And it's one of those baits which I use for a lot of different species. I mean, the bigger ones I'll keep back to the blondes. The medium, especially, is perfect for this type of fishing. I mean, medium well suited for a small-eyed grey or a spotted grey. And I'm actually fishing one with a bomb lead today. Fishing one with a grip lead. 20 pound main line. I've got the Zobron XT 435 beach casters. Just something a little bit potent, because when you get the rake close in, you don't want too light of a tip. You want a bit of power in the butt to hold the fish there. If you haven't got the power in the butt, what I find is the tip's not going in the fish. It gives the fish control. When you've got the fish underneath you on that water, you want it up on the surface really. Stop it from diving down and stuff. Just hold it in there. And like I said, it'd be a bit tricky today trying to land fish on camera, but yeah, we'll see if we can get one out, eh? So folks, the light is starting to fade, and got my waterproofs on. It's only light showers it's forecasted. Northwesterly breeze going overhead, and I bumped into one angler so far down here, and we never had nothing out last night, so I'm not sure if it's going to be anybody coming down or not. I would have liked to have thought not. But to be fair, it'd be nice for someone to come down because they can help land fish and I can help them land fish. I mean, you don't want too many rods out down here, but at the same time, it's quite awkward at times to land big fish. Smaller fish, you can sort of like bring it up onto the rocks. But I'm using 80 pound trace line, but it's a 0.70, so it's nice and supple in that for the bait to be movement in the water. But at the same time, it's not the sort of thing where you want to be lifting fish up with. I mean, when we go over the whales and stuff, and you've got to be fishing off of heights and different things, I normally use 100 pound trace lines. Exactly the same as I fish for blonde ray. I wouldn't fish for anything less than that if I'm doing so. But really, being on my own here, I should have tackled up a little bit. But basic up and over rigs, I'll show you one. So hope everybody's getting ready for Christmas. Or to be honest, by the time this comes out, you probably have had Christmas over and done with, and you'll be thinking diets. So it's one of them, isn't it? But I'm just going to cover my bag up. I've got a birdhouse rucksack. I'm quite lucky. It's got the waterproof casing, but got to watch my rod tips at the same time here today. So I've got them both on ratchet, but more likely at the stage of time now, I'm looking for a slackline bite. So this is what I'm using. Chameleon rig body, 80 pounds. Upside down Gemini link clip. And I've got a big bead, and I've got a Gemini swivel link clip going on to an imp, okay? And I've got a bead. And I reckon that's probably about 2 foot long, maybe. And I've got 100 pound power swivel. For the trace end, I've got the, I think it's Gardener. It's this 80 pound line at 0.70, and it's lovely for small eyes and stuff like that. I love using it. You've got to change it every time, guys. Yesterday when I felt my rigs, I redone them today, so you're getting a lot of like wear and tear on the rocks when you're landing fish and stuff. But then I've got a 5.0 Skuma Manta Extra on that hook with a 5.0 Chinu hook on the top. And I've got it penned with a little rubber bead in between just to cushion if the fish takes a top hook, it cushions it. That's all the gear I'm basically using really. I've got them on both rigs today. I mean, if it was a bit rougher, I would tend to go for a pulley rig, but it's like a milcom really. There's a couple of swells coming up through as it's hitting the rocks in front of me, but unfortunately I can't get on there today. It's a bit big of a tide, and being on my own, if anything was to hit it, it's not the sort of place you'd want to be stuck on. You know what I mean? If anything was to happen. So I'm pretty safe down here. I mean, big flat line bite. It's gone. I reckon that was a bass. I'd put money on that being a bass. Nightmare. Too busy talking. Something smashed it. Got big halfway up. Could have been a bass, could be a ray. I'll get another bait up on them now. I'll go through the bait up as I'm doing it now. I suppose probably be the best time. I can't remember what I was talking about, but yeah, we'll get a bait up on camera, shall we? But yeah, you're gonna get smashed up by bass in that here. On this one here, I've got the drag set a bit tighter because it's a grip lead. But on that bomb lead, especially today, I didn't have no restriction at all, because what I was feeling is getting finicky little bites and then basically picking up the rod and waiting for them to pull, and they were taking the sand deals right back, and then I was just hitting into them. But yeah, might be a different method today, eh? Okay, so got all my bits and pieces I need. So I'm going to start with an eel. As I said, they're launch, nice size launch. Do you know, I'm actually thinking about cutting them down slightly, which is not pretty good. Look, I'm going to take them off back there just where the blood comes out, give them the length of my thumb, and cut them off there again. That's sort of perfect ray bait size, really, for what we're targeting. I mean, I've known of areas where you go and you could put too big a bait out for the rays. Little tiny bait sometimes produce, you wouldn't believe it. I know in Wales it works. I'm not saying it doesn't work everywhere, but a lot of the areas that I fish, especially a single sand reel bait, can outfish a big bait all day long. And it doesn't really make no difference to the sand reel. I mean, we had a session recently where we must have had 30 rays out between us, and it was just manic. And it got to a stage where at first the only thing they were eating was sand eel. As the night come in, we started taking bluey and squid and different bits and pieces like that. But to be fair, my number one bait is sand eel, especially for small eyes. I find that when I'm targeting small eyes, that's all I need to use really. What I tend to do, I've got a very sharp knife, and I'm just going down the eel like so. Right, it's just only preference. It lets a bit more scent out, but it's one of them. And I bring that right down through. And then what I do with my trace line is just fold it back in on itself, like so. Got a bait elastic, not really tight, guys, just about right. On my next rig, when I bring that one there in, I'm going to fish sand eel. I'm not going to fish lawns. Everybody's at work still, so people could turn up, you never know. Hopefully not, but you never know. There you go. And then got a rubber bead I'll stick down through. I should have put that in really, too busy talking. And then what I'll do is I'll set my hook, so I normally go around 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go around into the top of the bait, pull down like so, and there you go. Just a nice ray bait there, ready to rock and roll. So let's get this one out. Let that bomb lead settle now. Spit down there. Definitely got a bite on this rod now. set them up. Right, I've got a bite on this rod now. We're going to get a lot of that today, guys. Bounce up and down like it's a little strap eel, unfortunately. Right, do you know what? It's getting warm. You wouldn't think it in December. I can actually go down to a polo shower, I reckon. It's absolutely crazy, absolutely crazy. So I've got a flask here, sand eel from Southwest Sea Baits in Plymouth. You struggle with getting decent eels anywhere else at the minute. It's they're quite fortunate with the setup they've got and how they can get them, because they're getting some absolutely stunning sand eel, which is nice to see. I mean, go back a couple of years ago, an eel like that was pretty hard to see. There you go. So I'll cut this lance out. The only reason I'm trying something a bit different. That's some lance out. I thought, you know what, I'm going to have a go like that. But we have been getting them on sand eel. Oh, watch that rod. People say, why don't you do the YouTube videos? Why don't you do the YouTube video? It's hard work, guys. It really is. It's not the case just going out and enjoying yourself fishing. It's you've got the camera there, you've got to do it, and I enjoy doing it, don't get me wrong. There's sometimes where, like that now, I can sit and watch the rod perfectly, and I'm entertaining you guys. So here we go. Right, so exactly the same again, little slick on the sand eel, and I'm going to keep the bead up the top now. Basically we're going to go in through the eel like so, like that, and round to the rubber. Nice, lovely. I'm not doing it now, but I do like to fish a sand eel and a half. I just feel that it hides the hook, sank of the hook better, and at the same time it's a bit more scent. Do you know what? I'm loving this Tronics Pro bait elastic. Very strong and ultra fine. It's perfect for sand eel. I don't know what one it is. Bait Tex Tronic Pro Heavy I'm using there at the minute. So exactly the same again. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that right down to the top of the eel. I'm going to pull the line tight. I'm going to fish him like that, which is ideal. So let's give it another go, shall we? Let's give it another go. I'm not going to go all the way up to cast this. I'm going to stand up there, I think, because I might need to turn my reel down a little bit. Let's have a go with it. No. Got to go back up, guys. Got to go back up. Do you know what? I might get it down there. Right on top, at the top, sandbar. You know what I like about this GoPro? The light is unreal. Don't get that with the digital SLR camera, and I've been really enjoying using the new GoPro for it, so it's ideal, guys. Hopefully it's coming out alright for you guys too. What? I think it's coffee time. So yeah, why not? Flask. I tend to always bring loads of gear. It's heavy bringing down, but obviously you can pour a lot of drink and water away, but it's always worth bringing a flask, isn't it? But I'll pan the camera around in a minute and you can see why. But many years ago, this is where I wanted it to either be buried, so basically thrown into the water, or cremated and my ashes scattered there. But to be honest, I don't know what I'd rather have. It's probably a question which a lot of us ask. But as you tend to get older, I think you start thinking about things a bit more. I found that on the rocks recently. There we go. Got a bite here, guys. Time for it now as well, just as it's going dark. Playing around with it. If it goes in a slack, we know what we got on. Right. I wouldn't normally do this, it depends where I am. But it could be a fish. We've had rain doing it. So it could be weak running down my leg. But my leg's gone all the way out there, I've gone in with the tide now. So I'm looking to win it. No weight yet. is a fish, except it could be doing with being £2 bigger. But it's literally just spat the whiting. They don't go back very well, but I'm going to try and get him back. That's all you can do really with whiting, unfortunately. But yeah, let's get on with it, bait up again. What was that on? That was on the launch, wasn't it? You know what? We're going to carry on fishing when we launch. See how we get on. Right. Mashed it. Absolutely mashed it. Do you know what? I'll keep doing that with those scissors. I'll lose them in a minute. They're a great idea. Go and get it quickly. Chuck him up on. If no one's seen these, the new mustard ones, they're quite good actually. I picked them up the other day. They're a knife and scissors all in one, which is handy to have really, especially for ray fishing. I mean, we all like to take a bit of bluey and that from time to time, don't we? But I'll get that pan around in a minute quickly because it's about to go dark. But there is something very special about this place. It's a nightmare when you get these eels, snotty eels and whiting and dogfish taking your rain baits. But unfortunately it's all part and parcel of it, isn't it, at the end of the day? Presenting a good bait out there. Sometimes, like especially where I go for the blondes and stuff, you don't tend to get a lot of it, and it's good because it keeps the bait. I would really not want to, rather not capture them if I had the choice. I'd rather have the choice of like basically just leaving the bait out there for a ray to come along. But we don't all have that, do we? It's they sort of pick our baits, we don't pick them. Right, so basically all I do is that. Nice little bait up. Those of you who don't try that at home, shouldn't be using a knife like that near my hand really, but I've been doing a lot of it and it's practice. I don't pierce this, I'm only just creating a little basic groove just to sit the shank of the hook in, and also the line, trace line as it's going up. But where's the ball to? It's important you get that bead right in behind the hook. So that's there like so. Go dark in a minute, so it'll be over the headlights. Trying to get as much footage as I can before it goes dark. Hopefully you're picking all this up, not be wasted footage. Trying to get my fitness levels back up, ready for next year. But spending too much time playing golf and drinking, and do you know what? I really has shown me how much I actually miss fishing, because I do. I think it's something which it's going to stay with you. Really, you're either an angler or you're not, and you seaweed. Right. I ain't going to take the camera back up, guys, but I'm going to walk back up, hit one out, and then get back down to the talk. I'll have a quick pan around quickly.
Yeah, that. Something very special about that, isn't it? You know what I mean? Sitting there fishing, just magical. It really is. Yeah.
You alright, folks? So I'm going to do a cast now. I did bring it up for you. wipe my thumb off. It's where you want it. Where you want it. Well, have I gone and there we go. Cup of coffee. Rods are out. Unfortunately, it's going to be dark, guys. So in a minute, I'm going to put you on chest mount because it's the only way you're going to capture any fish or get on camera. But yeah, as I was saying, I think as you get older, you think a bit more, don't you? And especially as you get on. I mean, a lot of thing I've thought about this year is wasted time, and I've tried to correct that with different things in my life, and yeah, I think I managed to do what I needed to do. But at the same time, there's something about fishing, and unfortunately, and those of the people around me, most of them understand. I would say. I don't know what it is about fishing. I mean, I like fishing in rough weather, and the only way I can describe it is the feeling. It just makes me feel alive. The waves crashing underneath me. It really is a strange feeling, but it's not for everybody. I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie, really. I mean, I've been starting to do a bit of mountain biking, going like jumping down big banks and jumps and stuff like that. I'm 42 years old. I mean, I could think of better things to do in my life, you know what I mean? And I think obviously with the fishing sort of side of things, at least I know I'm going fishing, I'm going to come back out. I do enjoy playing golf, but to be honest, one thing I didn't enjoy about playing golf is I wasn't very good at it. I mean, I put a lot of effort in it, done lessons and stuff like that, but I think with fishing, it's something I've been doing that long, it's sort of like embedded into me. And especially doing different species and stuff like that. And I did say I wasn't going to join a club. I was going to join a club, not last year, I think it was last year sometime, just in case I went fishing, just to way of fishing. But when we went back, as I said, no club fishing. But unfortunately, I've just joined a club, which is probably, I don't know, it's one of them. I'm not going to be fishing for like comps and like monthly competitions and year trophies and stuff like that. But it is nice to weigh in for the wyvern. I mean, Adam at the moment, I think with that spur dog he got, I think he'd be in a good running for the castle trophy. And to be honest, it's the only trophy I would fish for. I mean, I'm not going to go in and sit in and weigh like 100% fishing and stuff like that. We had a couple in the past week, like 120% fish. But if you get like 150, 160% fish, it's worth weighing in, isn't it? But is that a bite? I'm going to have to go on chest mount in a minute, guys. Unfortunately, I think that's a bite. I don't know if you can see that, boys and girls. Either a whiting or an eel. I'm going for a whiting. I'll bring him in now. Perfect night, look at that. Let's find out then, shall we? I'm going to go down the lower platform. It's quite slippy, so same with anything. Fishing rock marks and that, you should have a good pair of boots on you. Something there. I'm going for whiting. I don't feel no weight at all there now. It's coming with the tide though, isn't it? So speeding up a little bit. Oh, there's weight there. Might be an eel. I think it's too weighty to be in. Yeah, my money's on an eel. Or a dogfish. Come off. Come off, thank God. Let's have a look though. So, it might have, I think it's a whiting or a doggy. Yeah, it could have been. Alright, see there's a lot of weed coming through. Let's get another bait up. Okay folks, so I've got the chest mount on at the minute. I'm having a bit of experimental really, because the trouble is when I'm filming it's hard to do the camera, and especially when you're on your own. But let me know in the comments of this video whether you like these type of productions or just to leave them out. I mean, it's hard trying to film on your own, but if it's not going to go down very well, to be honest, it's one of those ones that I'll just probably leave out. But if you're enjoying them, then I'll carry it on. As you can see, little slit, there's nothing massive, just enough to get the line down through really. Put that down over the top, and then pick that other rod a minute. Lovely evening for it. You wouldn't believe it's December, would you? You would not believe it's December. I thought we'd see people down here tonight, my honest opinion, with high tide being 6 o'clock and low water being at midnight. I thought someone might have risked it for a biscuit, but I think B-Sands is probably putting everybody off because all their thoughts are going into that, which is strange really, because this time of year now you do get a lot of anglers. It's not a well-known secret that the fish are here, but obviously people forget, and a lot of people just wait for it to be on social media and then think, oh, I'll go down there then, which obviously we're trying to eliminate really, because as soon as you put it on social media, all our work of going down and putting hours into finding the fish, and when they're there, it's just being given up for everybody else. Which it might sound selfish, but unfortunately putting all the time and effort in with fuel, bait and everything else to try and find the fish and get the fish, you know what I mean? It's one of them. When we want to come down on the mark, we can't get on it because it's round. So yeah, it's one of them really, guys, unfortunately. But let's do this here in a minute. Like that. So I've only done that much so far because I'm going to do my old little trick now. So I'm going to go for a sand deal and a half, and I'm basically going to cut him like so. What I do is I put it in the bottom of my hand up to the top of my finger, up thumb size. I mean, that's perfect right for small eyes. You don't want nothing no bigger than that really. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut him with the scissors down through the middle, like so. Right, and then what I'm going to do now, done it like this because it's just a bit easier to manage, and then I can poke the eel out. The one I had yesterday was done exactly the same. The only fish I had out, to be honest, was the only time I done a sand deal and a half really, because I didn't want to waste sand because we weren't catching nothing. Back in the pot. It's already levered up. I'm going to do one more time round and bring the hook down, and I put the hook right through both sand deals like so, and I'm just going to pull up on that. Right there it is, perfect ribbit. Leave out half a sand deal there. It's not doing nothing there at the minute. It's all our leftovers. See that swell coming in now, can you? That's why I'm not going on to the main rock, only because they're going to be wet and slippy. I'm on my own, and I do want to try and get this production out to you at some point.
But I think what I'm going to do here now, it's hard because I can't cast. It means I've got to go up to cast, which I'm going to have to do, guys. You're going to have to come up with me and come up and see all the hard work going to place. Look. Unfortunately, my reels are running that fast. I've got a pendulum cast, so I need room to swing the lead. That's the rig I'm using. Making sure it's clipped down, pulled tight, job done. I'm going to try and get this one out to where I need him to be. He's out there. I have to watch that because that's come around a little bit too much really. Might be alright. See what I mean about these rocks? You can take, it's always worth keeping one arm free, getting hold of something as you're going over, especially when fishing on your own. I mean, everybody goes on about safety with some of the stuff we do and that. If it's not going to be, you're not going to be safe, there's no point doing it, you know what I mean? Definitely no point doing it. No. So little tips of the trade here now. I've closed over my pods so I can basically put my eyes in that so they hold them in. Got a centre one here just in case I'm fishing one rod or whatever, and I find that quite handy at times, especially if I've got like a float rod or whatever out in the summer. Set it up and sit him down on there. In goes tripod, net. These nets are smashing. You know what I mean? If you can pick one of them up, always worth having, especially for like Chesil or the channel or anything. I like a long tripod. Some people like shorter tripods, but yeah. See if we can get one out. There we go again. Not what we want, but. I'll put that down in a minute, guys. See if it's on there still. I think that was a whiting, you know. It's pecking at the bait. It didn't go over, so it didn't take the hook. This is a little bit of the... Oh well. It's back again. I don't know if you can see that. tapping away there. I've got no choice but to hit it, because the trouble is if I don't hit it, it's just going to eat away at my bait. So I'm better off bringing it in. I'll leave it there quickly just in case. What is it? Snotty. There you go, guys. First snotty of the session. The ray angler's worst nightmare, because these can be a pest. Later on in the year, next year, where we go raying, you'll get loads of these come in first, and when they come in, they're just nightmares. So what I'm going to try and do here is get the hooks out, but sort of bite here.